Hi, it's Bob with Top Choice Real Estate, bringing you the word on the street, talking Indiana real estate. Today I'm in the Painted Hills of Morgan County, which is just southwest of the city of Indianapolis, the state's capital and biggest city. Morgan County is one of the donut counties surrounding the city of Indianapolis. I-69 runs through it, connecting Detroit down to the Mexican border, and I-70 runs across the top of it, connecting to St. Louis going west into Columbus and Dayton, Ohio, if you head east. It was first settled in 1822. It now sports 70,000 residents here on the banks of White River. For many years, I made the drive fairly often from Bloomington up through Morgan County to Indianapolis. It's a very pretty drive, a lot of rolling hills with all sorts of deciduous trees that are just really pretty come the fall months, and hence, hey, the Painted Hills of Morgan County. There are two major towns in Morgan County. The larger of the two is Martinsville, which is the county seat. It is located in the center of the county, right along I-69. It grew up here for one reason. There were like dozens of mineral springs, and in fact, the high school sport teams are called the Artesians. And speaking of high school athletics, Martinsville is the home of John Wooden. Yes, that John Wooden. He was a three-time state athlete here, leading his team to the state high school basketball championship here in the state, where basketball takes on the status of a religion. He moved from here on up the road to Purdue University, where he was a three-time All-American and the first person ever to do that. He led his team to the National Collegiate Championship, and as illustrious as all that was, he worked his way to UCLA, where he coached dozens of All-American athletes, including legends like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Bill Walton. His teams won a record 7 NCAA titles in a row, and that record still stands. He was the first to be inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, first as a player and then as a coach, and was the first person to ever have that honor. He was an inaugural member of the NCAA Hall of Fame. And get this, in 2009, the Sporting News named John Wooden the greatest coach of all time. Okay, enough said. Martinsville has 15,000 residents. The high school has a B grade and is ranked number 152 out of 390 high schools in the state of Indiana. Hey, it's Christmas here in a few weeks, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that Martinsville is the home of one Bobby Helms, famous for his rock and roll classic, Jingle Bell Rock. Okay, we're moving to the north edge of the county to the town of Mooresville. It was established just 2 years after Martinsville was, and is the home of the Indiana state flag, which was designed by Paul Hadley. It grew rapidly in the last decade of the 20th century, but has slowed since and now numbers 10,000 people. The schools are graded B and are ranked number 115 out of 390 public school systems in the state of Indiana. And hey, it's the home of Gray's Cafeteria, which isn't your basic cafeteria. You really ought to stop in. You know, I often get asked by out-of-state people about tornadoes here in Indiana. They're all worried about deadly ones and getting killed or something. Fact of the matter is, tornadoes are pretty rare. But one did hit Mooresville in just back in 2020. It was an F1 with winds over 160 miles an hour. Hey, the talking heads had everybody running for cover, but the truth of the matter is there were no deaths and no injuries. Bottom line, the overwhelming number of people in the state of Indiana do not worry a whole lot about tornadoes. They don't have storm shelters, safe rooms, or even worry about having a basement to hide out in. Okay, summing it all up, Morgan County is just outside the city of Indianapolis, which is very easily accessible. If you go to Indy, you can enjoy all the amenities that it has to offer, all the restaurants and sporting events and museums and concerts. There's plenty of jobs there, as well as the international airport. Now, Martinsville and Mooresville have hospitals, and they have your basic shopping that covers all of your basic needs. It's not like you gotta go to Indianapolis to go grocery shopping or something. In fact, there's more grocery stores here in Morgan County than there are in Indianapolis. But if you do want more in the way of shopping or restaurants, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump to, I don't know, Bloomfield, Plainfield, or Greenwood. So if you're considering moving here, you're gonna wanna pick up our relocation guide. It's free and there's no obligation. My staff and I have prepared the ultimate relocation guide, and you can get your copy below. Okay, let's take a look at real estate in Morgan County. There were 946 homes that sold within the past 12 months, ranging in price from $28,000 to $1.8 million. The median price is right at $300,000, which is the same as for the entire central Indiana. So let's take a quick peek at what you get for $300,000 in Morgan County and the variety of homes that are available. First up is 1688 Victor Drive. This one is brand spanking new. And yes, there are a good number of new homes being built in Morgan County. This one is a 1,385 square foot brick ranch, a 3.2 model, and it sold for $287,000 just here recently. Batting second is one not quite so new. It was built in 1870. It is 4 bedrooms and a bath and a half. It's a 3-story house, yes, 3 stories, built in the historical district of Martinsville. It includes the original woodwork and a fireplace, and with over 3,000 square feet, this one sold for $311,000. Batting third, I've got one in the Painted Hills neighborhood. This one's at 4476 Rembrandt Drive. It's 3 bedrooms, 1.5 baths, 1,553 square feet with an oversized garage. You can even park an RV or a boat. Hey, it sits on 3/4 of an acre, and it comes with all the amenities that come with living in Painted Hills. We're talking 2 lakes, a private clubhouse, heck, it's even got a private bar and restaurant. Add a playground, a beach, a dog park, and this one sold for $305,000. Just down the street is our cleanup hitter. This one is at 3627 Ridgecrest Cove. It has 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, looks like 2,456 square feet. It's got a contemporary feel to it, and it sports an enormous master bedroom with a private balcony and even a fireplace. It's set on just over an acre, and it went for $310,000. There you have it. Come to the Painted Hills of Morgan County. Enjoy the beauty, or hey, you can truck up to Indianapolis or down to Bloomington for a ball game or a concert. You'll find homes built over 150 years ago, or one, hey, maybe that was just finished this morning. Now, if you have a home to sell, this next section is guaranteed to make you money. But if you don't have one, feel free to skip ahead to our monthly market update with actionable info to help you be successful in the real estate business. So if you're thinking about selling, have you ever wondered if you're going to have to paint or recarpet? Or maybe your brother-in-law told you that you just have to fix up your bathroom. Hey, follow me. I'm gonna arm you with some knowledge so you can make the best decisions that will make you the most money. And I'll share secrets on how I sold my last 5 homes in a grand total of less than 30 days. Number 1, you are now in the business of selling real estate. This is no longer about your house. It's time to focus on making it someone else's house. If you're going to get emotionally attached to a house, do it with the new home that you're about to buy. Number 2, we use professional photography, which means to you, people will put eyeballs on your property. That plus our marketing will equal lots of interest. But so I hate to tell you that even with all that interest, people are gonna do their best to talk themselves out of walking through your home. It drives me nuts, but our job, your job, is to get them from the street to inside the house. Hey, they're gonna drive by and they're gonna do their best to talk each other out of walking through the house. So, curb appeal matters a lot, more than it should. Hey, if you think about it, you live 90% of your time inside your house, about 9% in the backyard on the deck or playing with the kids, and about 1% in the front yard. And that's usually when you're shoveling snow or mowing the grass, not doing something that's a whole lot of fun. But hey, you only get one chance to make a first impression. So you're gonna wanna be sure to trim the overhanging tree, put the trash cans out of sight, put the bikes and basketballs away, hey, and bring some color. Flower baskets in the summertime, maybe some mums in the fall, you got Christmas or Halloween, 4th of July, you got big bright flags. Put some color between the street and your house. Number 3, say you do manage to get them to the front porch. There they are, the realtor's fumbling with the lockbox, trying to get the key out. And what are the buyers doing? They're looking around. They're seeing the cobwebs and the dirt and the grime and the front door that hasn't been cleaned in God knows how long. So, hey, make sure that they're staring at something clean and sharp. First impressions matter. Hey, you may never use the front door. If you're like most people, you come in through the garage. But you're gonna bring everybody in for a showing through the front door. So, hey, paint the front door. Knock down the spider webs, power wash the front porch. If you don't have the equipment or don't want to do it, I know a guy. Number 4, Once they're inside the front door, the priority begins in the front hallway, and it works back from there. First impressions again. Hey, I've had people take one step inside a house and go, hey Bob, this one's just not for us. We're out of here. Hey, so the least important things to get done are the basement, the kid's bedroom, the garage. You can have all the boxes in the world in the garage and it doesn't matter. The side of the house, don't worry about power washing that. That's like the last thing that you do. What matters is everything as you move back through the house. That's what's most important. So concentrate your efforts beginning there. Number 5, there's a saying, and it's god-awful true. Kitchens and baths sell houses. Now, the price point may play a role in what you do. A few years back, I was doing a listing presentation with somebody, and it was a pretty nice house. I mean, it was kind of unique, but it was pressing a mill. And the guy just refused to consider putting granite countertops in. He said, well, they'll want to choose their own. Sorry, people looking at $1 million home do not want to look at Formica countertops. So consider what price point you're at and then do the things that need to be done to sell it to somebody shopping at that price point. You want to motivate them. It's not about you, it's about them. Make it attractive to them. Make them get their checkbook out. So you may want to consider, do the appliances match? Are they all working? Do all the burners work? Or is it obvious that there's something wrong with that kitchen range? Hey, it may not have bothered you. You may have lived with it for 10 years, but a buyer coming in, those are like trigger points for them, as to say, well, maybe the house hasn't been taken care of, or it just doesn't give you that first impression. You may need to tile a bathroom or update some plumbing or electrical fixtures. Hey, it all depends. And when it comes time to show your house or have people walk through your house, you're gonna wanna remember this because yes, it's a pain in the donkey, but kitchens and baths sell houses. So take the time when people are walking through that those things look sharp. Number 6, you're gonna wanna walk through your house and you're gonna wanna thin it out. You wanna look at your countertops and the tops of chests of drawers and bookcases and all those things, and you wanna remove half of the items there. You wanna box them up, you wanna move them out, you wanna give it to Goodwill, you wanna haul it away. Then you wanna do half again. That's about what most of us have on our tops of our counters and our chest of drawers is way too much stuff for the person coming in looking to buy. Now, this doesn't cost you a whole lot, but it does take a little bit of time and effort. Now, I don't agree with realtors that say you need to depersonalize your house totally. I think you need to convey to people that the people living here like to live here. Buyers like that feeling. They can tell when they walk through a house and it's a divorce situation and the guy's sleeping on a bed on the floor. That doesn't help create a good feeling. So, hey, you do what you can to make it feel warm. Even if you take out a lot of the personal stuff, leave enough so that they get a feeling that somebody enjoys living there. Hey, people even like seeing those notes on the kitchen table or on a chalkboard that say, 10 things we love about living here. It's something you might want to think about. Number 7, people ask me, should we get a pre-listing inspection? That way we could repair everything in advance. And I go, no. Hey, here's what inspectors do. They come into your place and they write for 3 hours. That's how they justify their fee. They're there for 3 hours. If you get a pre-listing inspection done and you repair 30 items, when the buyer's inspector comes in, he's gonna write for 3 hours. And you're gonna have another list that's equally as long as the first one. Every house has a list and they're long. They go 50 and 100 items. And you know what? When you move out of your next house, you'll probably have that list too. Besides, you don't know how the buyer's gonna respond. You know, buyers have different comfort levels about different things. One guy may be an electrician. Another one, the wife's brother may be a plumber. They may not give a hoot about those problems, okay? So unless it's something just real glaring that's gonna get in the way of the sale, up front, if somebody writing an offer, hey, let it go. We'll deal with it at the time of the inspection, okay? Number 8, now, there are some problems that just must be taken care of. If you've got asbestos, or mold, or stained ceilings, or pet odors and stains, those are deal killers. I mean, people don't want to hear about asbestos, okay? It scares the living daylights out of them. If you know you got a situation there, take care of it before you put the house on the market. If you have black mold hanging off of something or other, get it taken care of before the people start walking through your house. Stained ceilings. People go, oh, I don't want to have to paint that ceiling. Hey, let me tell you, people walk through a house and it's one of the things that lots of people know, and the guy will look at that stained ceiling and he'll point it out to the wife, and then they'll walk through the house and he'll come back and he'll point out that stain in the ceiling. Now, you may have put a new roof on your house in the last year and it's not a problem, or fixed the toilet 5 years ago but never painted the ceiling. But it's a problem to that buyer, and you lose the buyer because you didn't get out a can of Kills, paint it, and then paint the ceiling. And if you don't want to paint the whole ceiling, hey, I know a guy. Not to solve these problems will cost you more than the repair work. Number 9, carpets. Hey, if they're dirty, clean them. If they have wrinkles in them, get them stretched. If they're just beyond use, replace them. And I know a guy for any of those jobs, or for laminate or hardwoods as well. And your price point may dictate just what you need to do or want to do or have to do, okay? But again, first impressions. Number 10, paint hides a lot of blemishes. And this is especially true if you have a vacant house, because when you move all your furniture away from the wall and take the paintings off the wall, there's gonna be these marks. And so the paint needs to be touched up, or the room needs to be repainted. It's a cheap fix, and it goes a long way to getting your house sold. And not just sold, but sold for the most money. Number 11, hey, you do whatever it takes to get the house ready to sell, and you got all life going on, and the kids have got ball games, and you know, all of these things, and you're tired. But guess what? The house needs to be clean, and I mean really cleaned. It needs to kind of shine. So hey, clean it or have it cleaned, and yeah, I know a guy. Okay, number 12, almost done. Remove the screens if you can. It will make the amount of light coming into your house that much greater, which people love, okay? If you live with your curtains closed, open them. Again, you're in the business of selling this property. It's not about you anymore. It's about the potential buyer getting their checkbook out. So, hey, have the windows washed. Brighten the place up. Clean windows just shine. Okay, and hey, I know a guy. Number 13, let's talk about staging. It's not something that a lot of people consider, but hey, cold vacant houses do not sell very well. And this may be a price point thing, but I've used staging everywhere from about, I don't know, $250,000 on up. So, you know, that's not like major price point in today's market. Staging, professional staging, can really make a difference in getting the most money for a house, selling it in the quickest time, and with the least hassle. Every time I sell my own house, I put myself through this exact same exercise. I'm convinced it's why I've sold my last 5 houses on average in less than 6 days. And no, I didn't give them away, rest assured. Hey, on the first one over in Glendale, I'd been working on the house and I'd gotten it all fixed up, and it was late on a Saturday afternoon, and I loaded up all my tools, and I had a pickup truck was just loaded with stuff, and I'm pulling out of the driveway, and the last thing I do is I stop and I get out and I put the for sale sign in the front of the house and an open house sign. And this truck comes pulling up, and the guy jumps out and he says, he's like dialing the phone, and he says, hey, can my wife and I look at your house? And I'm like, man, I'm beat, I'm going home. And he says, no, my wife's gonna want this house. You know, sure thing. And we keep talking a little bit. I said, okay, I'll tell you what. He couldn't get hold of his wife. And I said, I'll tell you what. I've got an open house tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, and I will be here at 8 o'clock. And if you want to get a look before everybody else does, be here at 8 o'clock. So the next morning, I'm there at about 10 to 8, and the guy's already there. He's got his wife, and he's got his realtor. And so I take them through the house, and they say, give me a minute. And so they're out back sitting at the table on the deck, and I'm getting ready for the open house. And so about 10-15 minutes later, the realtor walks in and says, hey, can we have a minute? And so I go out, and hey, you know what? 15 minutes later, we had a signed agreement for a full list price plus the realtor's commission. That's what you call a quick sale. So, hey, I pulled the open house sign and I went home. The second house, hey, I sold that one at the end of the first day. The third house was up in the mountains in Colorado, and that one was an outlier. It took all of 3 weeks to sell. Number 4, I sold on the Monday following the first weekend. And the fifth one, I sold on Tuesday after the first weekend. Hey, I hope you found this helpful and that it will help you sell your house in 6 days or less. Hey, we offer a free room-by-room analysis. I'll walk through the house with you. We can share ideas back and forth. It's free, there's no cost, there's no obligation, and I guarantee you I'll help you make money and I'll help you save money by not doing things that you don't need to. Hey, to schedule a time, call or text me. Make it a great day now. Coming up is my latest monthly market update with actionable data to fuel your real estate success. Today I'm asking the question, where did all the housing inventory go? On the last day of October 2024, there were 5,172 homes for sale in the greater Indianapolis area. But that number is much smaller than what it has been in years past, even decades past. So where did all the inventory go? I mean, Indiana had 28,000 homes for sale in 2016. There is only 12,000 homes for sale statewide today. That's less than half. I mean, what the heck? Sales are down 25% in the past decade. How does that work? I mean, aren't there more people now? You betcha. Meanwhile, prices have climbed statewide from $137,000 to $258,000. And that's just in the past decade. Here's some ideas on what might be happening, things that might be affecting this overall equation. Number one, people are marrying less. That means there's fewer household formations, and that is a key indicator or key driver of home sales. Number two, people are having children later, which again, households maybe have formed, but having children is a great impetus to step up into a larger home. And number three, young people are having fewer children, meaning they have a need to move less frequently and not to such larger homes. Number four, half of the potential home buyers are saddled with student loan debt that would have been unheard of in past generations. When we think of prices rising, man, college prices have outstripped the rest of the economy, which is already unaffordable, right? Number five, prices have risen to bubble territory. And you can blame that on the Federal Reserve and the federal government for its just outlandish, stupid spending. Number six, older people are staying in their homes longer. Heck, they have devices that make it easy for them to communicate better with people, things in the house that make it safer for them to stay in their house longer. Number seven, the COVID scandemic just scared the hell out of people about moving into a nursing home. That was like a death sentence for many people. Why would you want to put yourself there? So people want to stay in their home as long as they can. Number eight, HGTV has brainwashed people into thinking they have to have granite and quartz countertops and stainless steel appliances and state-of-the-art kitchen cabinets and smart homes and all these things, okay? And, you know, years ago, people starting out were happy to have a house to buy their first house. Now people want them all decked out. I take people through lower tier priced homes and they still want those things, which, hey, that makes number nine, their expectations are just unrealistic. Not everyone can live in a $2 million home. Number 10, there's an increased number of multi-generational homes. Number 11, people have bought homes for Airbnbs. That trend is slowed because the results aren't quite what they were a few years ago, but nevertheless, there were a lot of homes, single-family homes, that were taken off the market and taken away from potential owner occupants and turned into Airbnbs. And number 12, you can add to that list the corporations, the Wall Street firms that have come in and bought up whole neighborhoods and turned them into homes for rent instead of ones that would be available for people to buy. So as the number of houses have shrunk from these factors, and you just don't have the homes available, which is made prices rise in spite of all these things. And that list is just for starters. All that tells me is that inventory will be short until it's not. So when will that be? Hey, if I knew the answer to that, I'd be standing on Wall Street selling money. But what I can do is help you find your way. It's much like being a pilot of an airplane. You know, you start with a flight plan. And then, hey, you got to adjust for the weather and what effect that has on fuel. And then you get to the new airport and whatever's going on from a landing standpoint. And maybe you got a circle and all that. Hey, buying a home is much the same way. But keep in mind, I work harder to make good things happen. If you're considering relocating to the greater Indianapolis area or moving anywhere within central Indiana, Be sure to tune in every week to learn all there is to know about real estate and living in Indiana. Whether you're buying or selling, please keep in mind, I work harder to make good things happen. Hey, make it a great day now. And if you found this video helpful, be sure to watch this next clip right now.